Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm your digital host, Tatyana White. Welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one-stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, including a Huntsville widow speaking out after her husband was fatally shot by a teen, how furloughed employees are holding up during the government shutdown, Priceville police officer is being reinstated after a fatal crash, the 708 Bar and Grill owner is still fighting to get his restaurant back open, and highlighting our very own Liz Hurley's 22nd annual ribbon run for breast cancer. And so I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. I missed you guys last weekend, so I'm glad to be back. And of course, this morning was a beautiful morning, just a sea of pink. It was for the Liz Hurley Ribbon Run Day for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm wearing my pink in honor. I know it's like a little bit of a hot pink, but yeah, I'm wearing my pink in honor today, and it's just such an amazing initiative. And I've seen breast cancer impact so many people in my personal life, and I know many of you probably have seen it impact people in your life as well. So I'm so grateful for Liz Hurley for putting together such an amazing initiative and bringing together the community to honor this. And I hope you all were able to enjoy it, even if it was just for a little bit. We love celebrating Liz here at 48, and I hope you all are enjoying your weekend so far. Let's get into this weekend's recap. So we're going to start with a 48 exclusive that we got this week, where we heard from the wife of a 59-year-old man who died from his injuries days after being shot. And Huntsville police said the alleged shooter is only 17 years old. And this was just such a senseless act of violence that cut not only one life, but two lives short, and has now left a widow broken after more than 30 years of marriage. And so 48's Callie Neese, our reporter, she went out and got more on this story.
And all of a sudden, I hear two of the guys say, "There they go."
Friday night, Juliet Reed was sitting right here on the front steps of her home near Hilltop Terrace when she watched her husband Randy Reed walk down the street to help out an elderly neighbor like he often did when...
And before I know it, the shorter one of the two decided to take his gun out and start shooting down the street.
Randy was hit by one of those bullets caught between a group of teens. Huntsville police say the suspect in the shooting is a 17-year-old who is now facing an assault and reckless murder charge. His name is being withheld because of his age.
I love him, and that man helped everybody.
City Councilwoman Michelle Watkins has been friends with Randy since college. She told me that Randy was always involved in the community and that he was all about keeping the community safe. Now she is calling for change.
And I just want to tell our youth, whatever you got going on, if you need a gun, you need to call the police. You need to call me. You need to talk to your mother. You need to talk to your father. Talk to someone, but put the guns down.
She plans to call in reinforcements to address teen gun violence in Huntsville.
We're going to be meeting with some community leaders. We're going to have to take our community back.
Randy's final act of kindness, saving the lives of others, even after death as an organ donor. His organs will be harvested tomorrow to go to someone in need. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And we're still in a government shutdown, and there are thousands of people around the Tennessee Valley who are currently furloughed, and they're beginning to cut back on some expenses. But Huntsville Utilities, they've recently announced that they will not charge late fees or turn off service due to non-payments. And if you all can remember, Huntsville Utilities, they actually started waiving late fees because of the transition to their new app, but now they're currently extending that due to the government shutdown. And this comes again as many federal workers continue to not receive paychecks during the shutdown. And so customers, they're still going to be charged every month for utilities. And we spoke to Huntsville Utilities Community Relations Manager Gary Whitley, and he is urging customers to continue to pay their bills anyway, even if it's just a small amount that they can pay. And we also talked to the president of one of NASA's unions, and he wrote a letter asking the community to step up and help furloughed employees during this time. He said anything helps business right now. And again, Whitley said Huntsville Utilities wants to help furloughed employees as much as possible, but he wants people to still continue to pay, even if it's just a little bit at a time, so payments won't start to snowball and catch up and pile up. And so he recommends for people to, again, just pay a little bit at a time as much as they can during this difficult time. And so this is what he has to say.
The greater Huntsville community and our customers are very entrenched in the work of the federal government. And so we understand that these times are difficult until this all wraps up.
Whitley also said they will give customers plenty of time to prepare before they begin to charge the late fees again. And there are also a few restaurants and places that are offering free meals or heavily discounted meals for furloughed employees as well. So you can check around for those. And then I even saw recently on Facebook that the Space and Rocket Center was offering something for furloughed employees, whether it's like a discount or something free. So even if you want to just get out the house and enjoy something, the Space and Rocket Center is also offering something for furloughed employees. So check out these different places if you need a little bit of extra help during this time. Also this week out of Priceville, the police officer who was fired for his role in a high-speed chase that turned deadly is getting his job back. On Monday, city leaders reversed the decision to fire Officer Gary Chapman, and instead they plan on doing two things. They plan on suspending him for 10 days without pay, and then they're also going to make him go through a retraining process. 48's Nick Ballinger was there during that Priceville meeting, and he has more on this story.
Who's to blame? Attorneys on both sides of a police pursuit that ended in a deadly crash involving the suspects say the legal fight is not over.
Chapman has no liability.
Priceville City Council may have decided to reverse the termination of Officer Gary Chapman for his role in the pursuit, but it maintained Chapman still violated chase policy by not factoring in the safety of bystanders the night of September 6th. That led to a punishment of 10 days of unpaid suspension for Chapman. Chapman's attorney, Scott Morrow, isn't happy.
We're going to sue the city.
He filed a notice of claim against the city of Priceville for $10 million.
Because they terminated him when they shouldn't have, and then now they're disparaging him, and they're causing him emotional pain and suffering. They're ruining his reputation.
Chapman's firing went viral, in part because of his father, reality TV star Dog the Bounty Hunter, who was in attendance Monday.
Dog the Bounty Hunter was there supporting his child just like any parent would do, and that's, admirable. Stephen Prater is supporting his child from a hospital bed down in Birmingham.
Will League represents the families of teenagers Gavin and Noah Prater and Braxton Wales, who were injured in the crash. He's filed a lawsuit against the suspect, Archie Hale. League says Chapman's 11 prior pursuits, even without any reprimands, may still open the door to not only a lawsuit against Chapman, but the city as well.
What oversight training prior to this incident and after those 11 previous chases was given to this officer? Was he rewarded for these chases?
They wanted him to chase people. They encouraged him to chase people.
He says if the department encouraged interstate and cross-jurisdiction chases, the department could be held liable.
When you look at their website, what does it say? Priceville Police Interstate Crime Enforcement.
.708 Bar and Grill has been chained and locked up for nearly a month now due to a court order. And so we brought you guys this news a couple of weeks ago, and on Wednesday the owner was able to plead his case on why he should be allowed to reopen. And there's a lawsuit between the owner, Malcolm Gopher, and the city of Huntsville. And the lawsuit claims that the 708 Bar and Grill is a public nuisance after multiple shootings over the past couple of years. Gopher is appealing that decision though, for the chains that are on his door, because he wants to be able to start operating his business again, but he can't because of the chains being on the door. And so a judge granted a preliminary injunction early last month, and that led to those doors being chained. Gopher says he hasn't been able to pay himself or his employees because he can't even get inside the restaurant. And so Gopher and his attorney, they did miss a city hearing, and in that hearing, city attorneys cited loud noise, blocked traffic, and multiple shootings as their reasoning to close the bar. And Gopher says he's tried to do everything he can to prevent the violence, and he feels like he shouldn't be punished for crimes he didn't commit.
We have murders go on everywhere. but you don't put chains on their doors. We're chaining buildings up. The building didn't commit a crime. At least take the chains off our doors, even if we're not able to operate. You know, we got food spoiling within the restaurant.
The judge is planning to rule on this appeal, and she also says a date for a hearing on the lawsuit needs to be set immediately to get to an outcome as quickly as possible. And we've been waiting all week to hear the ruling on whether the restaurant should be reopened or not. And so we will keep you all updated once that ruling finally comes down. And we're continuing to celebrate 48's very own Liz Hurley as she celebrates the 22nd annual Liz Hurley Ribbon Run in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so take a look at these pictures and videos from Friday. We celebrated here at WAFF 48 Liz, and we all dressed in secret in all shades of pink. It was such a great secret to keep. We were all like, we are going to dress up in pink, surprise Liz, and just support and honor her and others who have gone through breast cancer. And she is so easy to celebrate. She does so much for us and for the community. And so we were so happy to join her and celebrate in pink with her yesterday. And let's also take a look at some of the 48 crew that was out there today. This is, if you look at your screen, some of the crew that was out there. My fellow digital host, AJ Weiss, was out there, and thousands and thousands of people showed up for this event, and many of our crew members who work in front of the camera, behind the scenes, were all there, and it was just absolutely such an amazing turnout. And this is just such a great event for people to honor and support people who have gone through this, and people who have passed from it as well. And this year the proceeds will go toward critical technology upgrades to the suite of 3D mammograms at Huntsville Hospital's Breast Center. And this was another great successful year for our Liz Hurley and for her ribbon run. And for those who have survived breast cancer or are currently going through it, just know that you are loved, you're supported, and my heart is with you. My heart is also with those who have lost loved ones to this awful disease. And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at an exciting opportunity coming up to connect with a New York Times best-selling author in the Huntsville-Madison area. I'll also give you all a sneak peek into news stories coming up in our evening newscast, and we'll also take a look at some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend. We'll cover all of that and more when we come back. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Recap. Thank you all for tuning in. I see Miss Roberta's in the comments. Hello, and thank you for tuning in today. I hope you're having a great Saturday. And this week I got to talk with Blue Apple Bookstore owner Robin Dama and Huntsville author Mary Catherine Backstrom as they talked about a very exciting event bringing a lot of attention right here in the Huntsville and Madison area. So New York Times bestselling author and podcast host Jen Hatmaker will be making a stop on her nationwide book tour for her latest memoir titled Awake. And this event will also feature local author Mary Catherine Backstrom, and it's going to be hosted by Robin Dama. And Robin and Mary Catherine, they joined me on 48 Now to share more about this special night and how Jen Hatmaker makes her books so special and personal for all of her readers.
Drive home the point that is so Jen's style, to make something that is going to reach millions of people so deeply intimate and accessible. And that's how her writing is too. And so anybody that's curious, like, what does this even read like? I would say it reads like a person who has a powerful story to share with strangers and invites them into her backyard.
Yes,
And that is just, that's Jen. And I love that you shared that story, because for me it really encapsulates her as a writer as well.
Yeah, it's the metaphor of feeling leaned into.
Yeah.
Feeling leaned into, feeling seen.
And cared for and fed and all the things that she does for her people.
And I think all the people that see her on Tuesday, whether it's at the VIP event or the keynote, they're going to feel that. And we all need a little bit more of that.
Agreed.
Yes.
That's it.
This event is going to be so inspiring. I felt inspired just even sitting down and talking with them. And there will be 2 events on Tuesday, October 21st. The first event will be a VIP meet and greet, and so you'll get the chance to meet Jen Hatmaker at Blue Apple Books in Madison. You'll get to talk with her, take a photo. That'll be at 4:30. And then the second event is a keynote speaker event with Jen Hatmaker and Mary Catherine Backstrom at 7 p.m. at Columbia High School in Huntsville. And tickets for both events can be purchased at awake2025.blueapplebookstore.com. And both tickets for both events, whether you go to one or the other, or if you go to both, either way, if you get a ticket, you will get a signed copy of Jen Hatmaker's memoir, Awake. So I feel like that's a great deal in itself. And also, if you buy a ticket to the meet and greet, you can get a discounted ticket to the keynote event by using the code BLUE30, and that's in all caps. And I just think this event is definitely worth going to. And they describe the memoir as a story of loss, a story of resilience, and a story of freedom, the freedom of starting over. And so I feel like that's something everybody can relate to in some way, just any of those themes, just going through life in general. So I think this will be a wonderful memoir, wonderful event to go to, connect, laugh, cry, all of those emotions. And one thing that I really loved during the interview that they said is that when Jen released this book, she asked the question of, what's becoming awake in you? And I love that question, because I'm sure we all have our own unique answers to this about what's becoming awake in you. And so even that in itself just made me think that this event is going to be great, and it's going to spark up a lot of wonderful conversation and allow people to just look inside, look within, and just, you know, have some type of healing and growth. And so I think this will be such a great event you don't want to miss out on. And it's also really cool and great for the Huntsville Madison area community, because the Blue Apple Bookstore was chosen as one of 15 stops for Jen Hatmaker's book tour. And so out of all the places she could have gone to, I think it's so great that she decided to choose our city and in the Tennessee Valley and North Alabama. And when you look at the list, the other cities that were on there were like Atlanta and Dallas and these other like big cities. So to choose the Madison-Huntsville area was absolutely amazing. You don't want to miss out on it. And to hear more about this event, check out the full 48 Now interview at WAFF.com under the Digital Shows tab. And so now a look into some of our stories coming up in our evening newscast. Earlier this morning, multiple agencies responded to a large tire fire in the DeKalb County area. And officials are saying this could pose a threat to your health, especially for people who have asthma or who have respiratory conditions or other underlying health concerns. And so they're advising to contact the local Department of Health or your primary care physician if you feel like you have any concerns regarding being potentially exposed to the smoke that is in that area. And officials said that they are keeping track of the air quality in that area. So far, they said the air quality is acceptable, but they strongly recommend that people stay out of the smoky area as a precaution. And so tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on this story and many others. And if you are looking for something fun to do this weekend, come out to the 2025 HAMR Fall Fest and SORBA Summit. And this is the Huntsville area mountain bike riders, and that's a local nonprofit mountain bike and trails advocacy organization. And today and tomorrow they will be having mountain biking, live music, food, and fun at Montesano State Park. There will also be educational sessions from leaders across the state and region. There will be races, a kids race race and ride, yoga classes, group rides, and there's just so many more fun things that you don't want to miss out on. And today's festival has already started, and it ends at 7 p.m. tonight, so you still have a few more hours to go out if you want. And the festivities will pick right back up tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And tickets can be purchased at hamrhsv.com/fall-fest. And also another fun event that's happening, a pretty popular one that's annual, is in the Mid-City, and it's the Whistle Stop Barbecue Festival. And this is just going to be a fun time, lots of good food, live music and contests. I feel like that's a really big thing here in Huntsville, is festivals with all the good food and live music and stuff. So you don't want to miss out on that. And the festival started at 11 this morning, but the party is going to keep going until 11 p.m. tonight. And tickets can be bought on the Mid-City District website, and a portion of those proceeds will go towards a great cause. It will go towards the Early Works Children's Museum. And if you want to get into the Halloween spirit and you want to just add that into your fall festivities tonight, you can check out the Fright Lights Halloween Laser Show. And so this event will be happening tonight. It will also be happening again next Saturday and on Halloween Day. So if you can't go tonight, there's still 2 more times you can go during the month. And tonight's laser show is at District 805 from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And the Laser Light Show, it's going to feature many Halloween favorites like Godzilla and Frankenstein. And this event is just open to all ages. It's family friendly. And then they will also have a really cool option to get some 3D glasses if you want to amp up your experience. I know that kind of gives us that throwback to when we were kids, for those that are older, you know, going to the theater and getting the 3D glasses. So that'll make the experience more fun if you want to do that as well. And tickets are just $10 and can be purchased at tickets.rocketcitylasers.com. And they even have the playlist on their website. So if you want to check out the playlist before you go, they have a playlist of songs that they will be playing during the light show. And there are some Halloween classics on there for sure, like one of my favorites. And one I'm pretty sure that's many people's favorites is Thriller by Michael Jackson, is on the top of the playlist. So definitely go check that out if you can. It seems like a fun, super great, chill way to start out Halloween. So it's nothing too scary if you want something that's Halloween themed to kick off the Halloween era, but not anything too scary like me. I hate jump scares and things like that, so you'll probably never likely catch me at like a haunted house or anything. So this is the more mild-mannered type of event if you would like to go to that. And there are just so many fun events happening this weekend, so go out, come with your family to one of the events that I mentioned or another one, and just have a fun time. And anytime throughout the week, if you are looking for a cool event to go to, you can always check out huntsville.org's event tab and wearehuntsville.com's event calendar to see more events happening in the area. And that's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into our 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. And forecaster Jada Russell will be joining you all here at 4:30 for another edition of Weather Extra. And you definitely want to make sure to tune in today as she's going to be talking about some of those overnight storms that are coming in. If you listened in this morning to our for our 48 Weather Extra with Jeff Denoyers, he talked about how tomorrow is a first alert weather day, but a lot of the storms will most likely be happening at midnight through early Sunday morning. So like midnight to like 7, 9 in the morning ish. And so be sure to tune in today just to hear more about that. And we will keep you covered right here at WAFF. And just all of our Weather Extra segments are another way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. So make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channel so you don't miss any updates on news and on weather. And especially for days like tomorrow when there's that chance of severe weather, you will want to definitely stay up to date with us on what's happening. And if you would like to connect with me and stay connected with me throughout the week, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. I would love to talk with you all and connect with you, so definitely always feel free to reach out at any time. Take care, everyone, and stay safe, especially tonight as those storms roll in. Stay aware, stay weather alert. Make sure you have the apps, weather radio, whatever you may need. But until then, it's still going to be a pretty sunny day. So go out, have some fun this weekend, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.